Hi, this is Phil from SMC. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart our Gen 2 motors. This particular one is a Spec 2, but the SM-2 is the exact same thing. What we're going to do is take this apart so that we're not going to damage the sensor board that's inside. This is a typical sensor board. This is a prototype one that doesn't have the spacer in between. And what happens is if we take this rotor out, take the motor apart incorrectly, the rotor can hit the sensor board and actually bend it up a little bit, knocking the asymmetry and essentially the deviation, sensor deviation, out of whack. So the way to take this apart is to remove, using a 2mm Allen key, is to remove the 3 motor screws. While taking them apart, keep a little bit of pressure on the motor. Just hold it together so that it doesn't snap apart. Now, once these 3 screws are out, this is the most important part. What we're going to do is we are going to take the stator out with the magnet still in it, still fully in contact with the end bell portion. So we're going to slide the front of the can off while keeping the rest of it together. And the way that we do that is we use the rotor shaft and we push down, and as we're pushing down we keep some pressure on it and just slide the can forward like that, keeping now holding the stator with my thumb and finger and keeping some pressure on. I'm just going to slide the front of the can off, he says, like this. Now the way that we've done this is the rotor is now misaligned because in the stator because it's lost the bearing off the front, but it's still fully in contact with the bearing at the back. Now again, pressing down, I am going to keep pressure on, because what I want to do is I want to keep this rotor engaged into the back bearing. Now I'm going to slide the stator down until I can disengage, and now the rotor sitting in its end bearing, and I can pop it off very safely, very easily, without damaging the sensor board. Let it all back up, and then it's there. If I want to pull the rotor out, they're hard to pull out. These magnets are really strong, especially in these SM-2 series. There we go, it comes out, and to put it back in, it's going to go in with a bang. Alright, I pulled the washer off the front. Now to put it back together, it's the exact reverse process. So, once I get this spacer O-ring back on the front, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push down on my stator, allowing the rotor to come out the back. I'm going to carefully align my bearing. Now I have to align the slot here in the front properly to allow the whole thing to come back together. Now I have to make sure that my stator is fully engaged. Now just insert the front of the can part carefully. Slide the can pieces together. Now I'm ready to insert my 3 motor screws. And that's it. And that's a safe way to take apart any of the Gen 2, either the SM-2 or in this case the Spec 2 motors, without damaging the sensor board, which is, if I just pull it off the back, the magnet is so strong that the rotor can slam down inside or slam up inside the stator and actually hit the end, here's the sensor board, and hit the end of the sensor board, knocking it quite a bit out of rotation. You can see it's just held by these little brass wires here, or the little copper wires, not brass, and that can knock the whole thing out of alignment. When I see them misaligned, I end up having to realign them by hand to get them straight again, and it takes a little bit of messing around with a motorizer to get them right. So that's it. That's the simple part. Pretty easy to do. Thank you.